In this webinar excerpt, we'll explore how advanced automated flows in Klaviyo work. But now we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about how do we take this to the next level for our email marketing. And that's where advanced flows come into place. Really, I think once you have the foundation set up, that should really be your starting point. I would start, if you don't have those must-have flows set up, start there, get those set up, get them running, because the faster that you have data, the faster you're going to learn, and the faster that you're going to be able to optimize your strategy based on what your customers are actually doing. But once you have that foundation set up, then it's time to take it to the next level. And really, I think one of the most powerful ways to take it to the next level is by personalizing and being more targeted with your engagement. So some specific examples of how you could be a little bit more targeted is with customer loyalty flows. So we talked about the milestones. You could send them emails at certain milestones that would let them know, hey, TaskOn is paying attention. They see that I've placed 5 orders. That's great. They must care about me, so therefore I will be more loyal to the brand. So we can look at that in a second. Cross-selling and upselling is another way that you could really be targeted. So if you know that someone has bought a product that goes well with another product that you have, you could set up a flow that whenever someone places an order that falls into that category, then send them some emails recommending that other product. Or maybe you're a company that sells maybe you have a subscription plan that customers can sign up to. One great thing you could do is, hey, I've noticed someone has purchased this 2 times in the last 60 days. Maybe they would want to sign up for our subscription plan. So you could have a flow set up that says, all right, if they've purchased 2 times in the last 60 days, then send them these emails in order to encourage them to sign up for our subscription plan. That would be kind of an advanced way of leveraging flows to drive sales. Then you can have certain seasonal campaigns where, perhaps you have certain moments that are important for certain segments of your customers, where you could go ahead and set up flows that trigger on certain dates like holidays, so that you are really communicating with them at the right time and driving higher sales that way. And then lastly, using predictive triggers. So this is an area that I really think is going to continue to grow this year, especially with the expansion of AI tools and just all of the different platforms that are available. But Klaviyo specifically is releasing predictive triggers. For example, what is their expected date of the next order? So Klaviyo has all of this data. They're starting to now predict when certain things are going to happen. And as this gets more sophisticated, it's really going to feel like we're able to read our customers' minds a little bit. So you want to be careful with it. You don't want to just, hit them with an automated email that's maybe not at the best time based on some of these predictive triggers, but this could be a really powerful way to connect with them at times when they were actually about to take action. So these are some examples. We're going to go in, we're going to set up an advanced flow and kind of use a couple of these examples to highlight what we just talked about. But there's a couple of other topics that you really need to understand in order to take your flows to the next level. And I've already been using the term a little bit. I'm not going to go super deep on customer segmentation because that's actually our next webinar topic. But really, segmentation allows you to tailor your content to specific audience groups, which would increase the relevance of your message and increase engagement. So there's different ways that you can segment. You could do it by their purchasing behavior, or maybe there's certain demographics data that you have access to. But I think one of the starting places is engagement levels. So if you're currently sending your email to your entire list, every single email, maybe your first opportunity is to engage, or is to segment them based on their level of engagement with those messages. And you can use Klaviyo's insights or analytics to help you refine those. And once again, AI tools are coming to help. But for now, there are some just kind of key segments that you would want to have accounted for. So I'll quickly go through this, but I mentioned maybe you would have a segment for your new subscribers versus those that are engaged. Maybe you have different flavors of that. Maybe you have a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day engaged, and you test out different performance levels based on those segments. Certainly want to have your VIP segment. Maybe you have at-risk segment, so you could target them to try to re-engage them. Maybe you're doing something specific for your cart abandoners, but then a couple of other really strong pieces of data to use for your segments. One is geographic location. So if you're able to collect that location information from them. There's some cool things that you can do. And then same with product categories. So perhaps you are a pet supply store and you're able to identify those customers that are dog owners versus cat owners versus bird owners. And you could use those segments to then communicate very specific targeted messages just to the dog owners, for example. Or maybe you communicate one message to your dog owners because that's your strongest segment, but then you communicate another message to the rest of the customers. But just by doing something very small like that can actually have a tremendous impact on the performance, because now your bird owners aren't receiving emails about dog products, which maybe they don't have, a connection for or connection with. So segmentation is just a really powerful way to communicate your message to the right people in the right way. You can get carried away with it, and then all of a sudden you're kind of lost in 15 different segments that you're trying to use. So once again, I would maybe start slow, start with one or two segments, build that out. But once you get to having, 30, 40, 50,000 people in your customer lists, if you're not segmenting, you are missing out on revenue, point blank. So having a good understanding of some of these key segments will really help you out. And then as you become more advanced, which you can learn about in our next webinar, you could try even different and cooler things with those.